morning, Nigeria. I welcome you to another edition of Daybreak Live on Dominion Television in Ibadan. I'm Oluwayemi Adelako. And of course, this morning we'll start with that trending gist, around the politics of Nigeria. Atiku Abubakar was declared the presidential candidate of the ADC after several issues around that, because quite a number of other persons were not satisfied with the result of the election. But he has been declared the presidential candidate of the ADC.
All right, from there, we'll also give you interesting things you need to know this morning as regards to weather reports to help you plan your day. After that, we'll take you through Daybreak News, where we'll bring you trends across the country and what's making the headlines on the pages of the newspaper this morning. Samson Balogun is my name, and thank you for joining us.
Exactly, and then away from that, we also look at our big story, and then today we are looking at something a little bit different, and then the topic is safe periods, confident girls, ending period poverty and restoring confidence. And we'll be receiving guests from this particular NGO, which is known as Network for Justice and Inclusion Foundation. They want to tell us quite a number of things about safe periods, about the poverty around the menstrual cycle, and then so many other things that you need to know, basically.
All right, that will be Barrister Suwise Felicia. And of course, she will be joining us as the Secretary of NGIF. And also we'll be having Barrister Esther Pius Ehong, who is the Financial Secretary of NGIF, on this desk this morning with Oluwayemi Adelako to share their insights on this particular topic and what they've been doing at the NGO to help vulnerable school children as regards safe padding in Nigeria.
Exactly, and we cannot say our BIE on the show without taking you through trend watch. We promise to take you through what is trending in the world of politics, and then after, we say our BIE on the show this morning.
All right, it's a fantastic place to start the show officially this morning, and of course I want to say good morning to you.
Good morning, something.
And well, maybe we should say Barika de Sana.
Yeah, because we are still in the, even if you check the streets, it's still a little
quite
bit
obvious.
Yeah, obvious.
It's what I saw this morning on the street of Ibadan reminds me of what you see on an election day. That calm on the streets, scanty vehicles. You can't even 5 minutes, you might not really see a vehicle passing by. And it's like everyone is enjoying the holiday, especially that there was a downpour overnight.
Right.
The calm is still being enjoyed by so many people.
And then there's this conspiracy that the second day of the festive is always like that. It's always very calm and silent.
That's the D-Day.
That's the D. You know about it.
That's the D-Day. The excitement and the rush that comes with Salah and festive celebrations actually, goes to sleep on the day exactly. But the second day, that's when you enjoy.
When
whatever ram you actually slaughtered will be enjoyed on the second. That's when you actually know that.
I mean, you know the trends, so you're familiar.
Now let's talk about politics this morning. And it takes us straight to the camp of the ADC. With all the crises going on in that party, especially with the recently conducted primary elections, and then we have a winner. Even before a winner was declared, someone in the mold of, in person of Rotimi Amechi, Right Honorable Rotimi Amechi, who was the former governor of Rivers State, came out to say, look, I reject any concocted result from anyone, and whatever result that has been declared is null and void, because I feel like there were malpractices across centers in Nigeria, and I don't feel like that result is actually correct. But by and large, someone has been declared as the candidate of the ADC. The big question is that in the first place, do they have the machinery to defeat Atiku Abubakar in a primary election? We have said this over and over again. It's not about projection. It's about going through precedents. What has happened before? For someone like Atiku Abubakar, who has never lost a primary, and one would think he didn't even notice this himself, but recently he mentioned it, that I have never lost a primary election to anybody in Nigeria. If there's anyone that said I lost a primary election to him, he should come out and say it and give us dates. And checking through history, truly, he has never lost a primary. And he has another one in his bag. And if there's an award for someone that has won so many primaries, I think Atiku Abubakar should be awarded. He knows the intra-party politics. He knows how to play it. He knows what to do, who to placate to get his ticket, regardless of what eventually happens during the election. He might have an issue before the election, but getting the ticket is never a problem. Now that he has it, someone like Rotimi Amechi and some other people in the ADC might feel like, well, since he did not go away, I could remember there was a time, someone told Rotimi Amechi to deputize Atiku Abubakar, and he was so furious. Yeah. He was really angry
on national TV.
that was asked such a question, and it was even posed to him to do that. And I saw a video clip recently of Rotimi Amechi walking out of a building, visibly angry, and then the caption said that Rotimi Amechi leaving David Mark's house after being told to step down for Atiku Abubakar. I don't know how true that was.
They captioned it, he left angrily. I saw the video.
Yeah. So I was like, okay, if it means that this is going to the wire, this man is never going to back down for anybody. He has the ambition to. And don't forget that recently also made some bold claims which has also been debunked and of course thrown under the carpet by people in the camp of the presidency, where he said, oh, people thought Tinubu made Buhari president, but it was actually the one that actually made Buhari president because it was the DG campaign. But someone asked the question, before you became the DG, there was a party that gave Buhari ticket. You only worked as a DG, meaning that there were metrics to be with which you can measure who actually did better when it comes to crowning Buhari president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. But then it was also saying, oh, look, I did this, I did that. People would come out and that's why we have presidencies. People come out and say, I did this, oh, I did that. But right now in the ADC, it is becoming more and more complex because even in Oyo State, there are 2 different primaries. 2 different venues, and they have 2 different winners as their gubernatorial candidates. And that's not only in Oyo State alone, it is almost everywhere in Nigeria. And also there is this Kachiku faction that's also been given the ticket to run as president of the ADC. You see, it's becoming more and more of an hydra-headed problem in the ADC. I don't think, if it continues this way, will ADC even be on the ballot come 2027?
Right, it's a problem. And let me start with the angle of Peter Obi now, because yesterday I was seeing tweet after the declaration. I think it was declared around at 11 p.m. I was even still up. And then people were saying, Obi saw through whatever it is ADC was planning to do. And then so people were trying to tell him that, okay, that was a bad decision. Him leaving the ADC, they are just very wrong. So they are saying maybe Obi saw whatever it is that is happening today, and that was why he left. And that was why he said no to primaries. So basically, and then it just speaks to the fact that ADC can still not put their house in order, even till now. So can they still blame the ruling party for issues like this? Because just like you mentioned, Amechi said he's not going to accept the results. I don't know, can we have the result displayed on the screen so we can check? Amechi said he's not going to accept the result. He had about 171,000, no, he had about 504,000 votes. Then Ayatollah had about 171,000 votes.
Even Ayatollah also said he's not going to.
He said he's not going to accept the result. We also watched videos, and Atiku Abubakar had about 1.8 million votes, very close to 1.9 million votes. So that's the result over there. You can see the large margin between the person who came first and the person who came second. And the people have been asking questions. Is it even possible for either Ayatollah or Amechi to win Atiku Abubakar in a primaries? Because if you look at Atiku won in almost all the states. As a matter of fact, it was even inconclusive at the time, because when I read the reports, they said that they had to stop the coalition yesterday, day before yesterday, because of the Salah, because they wanted people to just go home and then exactly, and then because some of the officials, the returning officials, also experienced airports challenges and things like that. I think they resumed yesterday night around 8 p.m. and that was when they were able to conclude, because they stopped at 21 states, and that's why we have the result over there. So even at this point, these people are still saying we are not going to agree. And I remember a very major person in the party said, we have a committee that can settle internal wranglings. If at all you are not okay with the result, take it to the committee. But can the committee solve it? The committee has not been able to solve the issues even till now. And there's one funny twist. You see, for Amechi to come out to say, I'm not going to accept the result, I think yesterday was his birthday. Do you know that Atiku Abubakar wished Amechi happy birthday? And he's aware of the fact that this person is trying to tell me that I rigged the election. And then he said he even called him my brother, my patriot. You need to see the birthday message. So it tells you that politics is funny, because he was still able to wish him happy birthday. It's because you are still my brother. Regardless of the fact that you are not happy with the election result, you are still my brother. We are still in the same party. So who knows? Anything can happen, and these people can decide to solve their issues behind closed doors, and then that's what we just get to.